Following the train derailment in East Palestine, Ohio, one woman is looking to raise money to help out the town's displaced residents.
And the university is holding a tax filing workshop. What students need to know and why they need to file their taxes on time.
President Biden delivered his State of the Union address last night. We have the details that are most important to Ohio residents.
And workers are still searching through rubble to save citizens in Turkey and Syria from the earthquake. All these stories and more as TV2 News starts right now.
This is TV2 News.
Good Wednesday evening, Portage County, and thank you so much for joining us. I'm Chris Abreu.
And I'm Kelsey Drennen. We begin tonight's newscast with more updates on the train derailment in East Palestine. The evacuation order is lifting today, but there are still worries about what is to come and how to cope with the displacement. A local couple and business owner filed a class action suit seeking damages from Norfolk and Southern Railroad.
The civil liability suit alleges negligence, nuisance, and trespassing by the railroad company for the 50-car derailment. The reasons for these lawsuits include the owner being forced to close their business and the couple suffering from injuries because of the toxic chemicals and fumes. Now, in other news from East Palestine, as the community looks to rebuild, a GoFundMe has been set up for those who need support.
Our reporter Olivia Sharp spoke with Lauren Boback, the organizer of the fundraiser. Hi, Olivia.
Hi guys, that's right. For the last 6 days, residents of East Palestine have been put out of their homes due to a train derailment, and one woman is doing her part to make the transition back to their homes a little easier. After a train derailed from its tracks Friday night in East Palestine, Lauren Boback, whose mother and stepfather were forced to evacuate, started a GoFundMe to raise funds for those in the community who were affected.
They were there Friday night initially. She had sent me some photos, let me know she was okay, and that was pretty terrifying. They stayed up until they were forced to leave on Sunday. At the time, they weren't really told much information. I don't think they realized how much danger was involved with the chemicals and whatnot.
Many of East Palestine's residents who have lived in their homes for all their lives were forced to pack up their things in a matter of moments and seek shelter at neighborhood school evacuation sites.
I knew it was going to be problematic for a lot of families in the town. They're all on a lot of limited income, situations that may not be as fortunate as some of us to provide for themselves. They all kind of left in a hurry, and I figured we needed to try to help, a close to me community, even though I don't live there.
Now much of the town wonders when they'll be able to return home.
The sheriff would come around to the houses and say, hey, you need to get out of here. We strongly encourage you to leave. And so a lot of people were packing their things for 5 minutes, not knowing where they were going to come back. So they weren't prepared. They weren't prepared with extra clothing, undergarments, anything.
Lauren said she wants to give back to the small town that she remembers well.
I'm hopeful that we could raise a decent amount of money for them. And the cool thing is, and I think what should be motivating for people, is that it's such a small town with only 4,500 residents. We don't need a ton of money to make a big impact. Even if it just boils down to getting everybody new groceries, wherever the railroad company or local government can't pick up, we can help tie up loose ends for them.
The evacuation order was lifted, but the GoFundMe is still up. To support, follow the link below. Reporting for TV2 News, I'm Olivia Sharp.
Thanks, Olivia. Continuing with the derailment, the Environmental Protection Agency has yet to see an air quality problem in or the area surrounding East Palestine since the derailment. The agency is continuing to check the air since the controlled release of chemicals on Monday. Many residents are concerned that the controlled release might have spread more harmful chemicals into the environment. For example, vinyl chloride, which in some cases a carcinogen that can cause cancer if inhaled.
Good evening, Portage County. I'm Aaron Houck, and let's take a look at the weather outside right now. Currently, it is 45 degrees, and with a dew point of 25, and the temperatures are going to stand right around that 40-degree mark, dropping just down to 38 degrees this evening, and overnight will bring showers persisting into the early morning. There we go, 41 feels like 44. Humidity is at 40% with clear skies at 9 miles. And then going into this evening, We can look at 38 degrees, gusty winds, and like I said, some showers which will persist into the morning. Taking a look at the temperatures tomorrow for 6 a.m., 44 degrees, rain, and then along at noon, we're going to be climbing up to 62 degrees along with some rain as well, and hopefully those showers will be dying off to bring us down to 50 degrees and cloudy skies in the evening. When we come back, we'll take a look at our 7-day forecast and dive into the temperatures across the rest of the state.
Thanks, Aaron. Now, tax filing deadlines are approaching fast, but don't worry, we can tell you what you need to know.
That's right. TV2's own Noah Rowe is here to give some tips about getting your taxes done on time.
That's right, guys. An organization on campus is hosting its first tax filing workshop this Saturday ahead of the Internal Revenue Service's tax filing deadline of April 18th. With the federal tax filing deadline just a few short weeks away, the Volunteer Income Tax Assistance Program is hosting several free workshops for students on campus.
We're actually really excited to be back on campus, really excited to get the word out there and to help students and, frankly, any other low-income or elderly taxpayer get their tax returns filed.
These workshops will help individuals prepare all the necessary tax forms and have their questions answered by IRS-verified volunteers before they file their returns.
So you'll meet your greeter, your intake specialist there, fill out the tax forms. Basically, it's a standard IRS form that all of our clients prepare, answer specific questions that we need to prepare your tax return.
To attend one of the workshops, individuals are encouraged to make an appointment or stop by for a walk-in.
Appointments every half hour, but if the appointments are full, we do take walk-ins, and we don't book appointments for every open slot because we want to offer plenty of time for walk-in appointments.
All students need to bring with them to the workshop is a W-2 form or similar form from their employer, a photo ID, and a physical copy of their Social Security card.
If we complete it in the same day, you would probably get a text back within a few hours. If we get a significant backlog, we plan to clear that early the following week. By Monday or Tuesday at the latest, you would be texted to come back to pick it up.
Now, the workshops are free for those who make less than $60,000 and those who are college students or above the age of 60. More information can be found by visiting kent.edu/VITA. Reporting from TV2 News, I'm Noah Rowe.
Thank you, Noah. A Hermitage man accused of cheating in a fishing competition and harassing women in Mercer County is now also suspected of giving his son 2 fake $100 bills to spend at a bowling alley. 36-year-old Chase Comiskey is charged with conspiracy. His 18-year-old son is charged with forgery, counterfeiting, conspiracy, and theft by deception. Both Comiskey and his son are currently awaiting trial in Cleveland.
And Governor Mike DeWine decided to apply for federal money to study the feasibility of expanding Amtrak service in Ohio. Doing this would mark the first step toward possibly adding new Amtrak along existing lines in Cleveland and Cincinnati. There's also a chance of creating an entirely new route connecting those cities with others like Columbus and Dayton. If approved, the state would receive $500,000 per corridor.
The trial of former Ohio House Speaker Larry Householder resumed today after a COVID-19 case and the jury paused proceedings. Householder is being tried alongside lobbyist Matt Borges on charges of racketeering in federal court connected to a $61 million bribery scheme. The judge is now requiring that all jurors take at-home COVID-19 tests before appearing in court. And in President Biden's State of the Union address, he mentioned our very own Buckeye State a couple of times. Details ahead.
And many are still seeking help with the aftermath of the earthquake in Turkey and Syria. What other countries are doing?
Leaders.
Today's top stories.
From an award-winning student newsroom.
This is TV2 News, truly Portage County.
Welcome back. President Biden delivered a State of the Union address last night for the first time since Republicans took the House of Representatives.
Our reporter Jacob Brooks has more on what it means for the U.S. right here in Ohio. Jacob?
Thanks, guys. So Tuesday night was Biden's second State of the Union address, but it was his first to a divided Congress. In his speech, which was over an hour long, he laid out his plans for the next 2 years as president, and he also got heckled by some members of Congress. So during the speech, he also made some references to Ohio about major projects that are bringing jobs here. He talked about Intel's new factories near Columbus, where they'll be making some semiconductors an integral part of electronics. Also, funding for projects like repairs to the Brent Spence Bridge that connects Ohio and Kentucky. In fact, he had an iron worker from that area in the audience.
Outside of Columbus, Ohio, Intel is building semiconductor factories on 1,000 acres, literally a field of dreams. It's going to create 10,000 jobs, that one investment.
Now, in the speech, Biden talked about strong job growth and his administration's achievements. He also said he's looking forward to working with Republicans, but a lot of Republicans heckled him during his speech, including Marjorie Taylor Greene. She shouted liar when Biden said some Republicans want to cut funding from social programs. He said during the next 2 years, he'd like to, quote, restore the soul of the nation by going through with his campaign promises, such as gun reform. He also said he wants more police accountability after the deadly police beating of Tyree Nichols.
2 years ago, democracy faced its greatest threats in the Civil War, and today, though bruised, our democracy remains unbowed and unbroken.
Then after the State of the Union was the Republicans' response. It was delivered by Arkansas Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders, who repeatedly criticized Biden. Here's some of what she said.
In the radical left's America, Washington taxes you and lights your hard-earned money on fire. But you get crushed with high gas prices, empty grocery shelves, and our children are taught to hate one another.
Now, there's been a lot of talk about 2024 and what last night might mean for next year's election. Now, one thing to note is that several times during the speech, Biden said he needed to, quote, finish the job. And when he was talking about his administration's accomplishments, he said that he had more to do. Now, Biden hasn't officially announced his plans, but some insiders say last night was basically the start or a test run of his re-election campaign. Chris?
Thank you, Jacob. The former Memphis police officers involved in Tyree Nichols' death violated the department's police body cam policies. Recently obtained disciplinary documents say 2 of the police officers did not turn on their body cams during the incident, and another failed to turn his on when he joined the others. The last 2 officers did have their cameras running, but removed them halfway through the incident. All officers are charged with second-degree murder and are free on bail. None have made any court appearances yet.
Welcome back, Portage County. Let's take a look at our 7-day forecast. Starting off for tomorrow, we have a high wind advisory in the morning with early showers that'll be persisting later on through the afternoon, bringing us a high of 62 and a low of 36. Moving on to Friday, we have overcast skies with a high of 40 and low of 24. Moving into this weekend, we're going to have partly cloudy skies both on Saturday and Sunday, with highs of 39 on Saturday and 48 on Sunday. Moving into the beginning of next week, we have some warmer temperatures slowly getting up into those high 40s and low 50s, which will bring us 49 on Monday, 51 on Tuesday, and 55 on Wednesday, with a slight chance for some afternoon showers. Moving on to the temperatures in the northeastern part of our state, we're at 48 degrees here in Kent, Cleveland, and Sandusky, 47 in Mansfield and Canton, 46 in Worcester and Youngstown, and 41 just farther north in here in Ashton-Beulah. Taking a look at the rest of our state and the temperatures across, we can go ahead and see that we're at 46 in Lima, 50 in Dayton, 54 just farther south in Cincinnati, 45 in Columbus, and then we're at 54 in Athens, 43 in Steubenville, and 44 in Akron. And that is all for your evening weather report. Stay tuned at kentwire.com for more news and weather updates.
Thanks, Aaron. Rescue efforts are still in progress for Turkey and Syria after the 7.8 magnitude earthquake that happened on Monday. The death toll rises to over 7,000 and nearly 40,000 are injured. Officials say this number could continue to rise as many citizens remain trapped under the rubble. Countries and organizations from around the world are responding to the crisis with things such as money and equipment. And to see how the earthquake is affecting those in Kent, tune in tomorrow to TV2 News at 6.
In Britain, the king is an Air Force pilot. And in Ukraine today, every Air Force pilot is a king.
That was Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky earlier today. He says that Ukraine will intensify its efforts of diplomacy to gain Eurofighter Typhoon jets to assist them. Earlier today, the Prime Minister's official spokesperson said Britain is considering sending jets to aid Ukraine in their war with Russia. Zelensky also landed in person today to meet with the French and German governments to discuss diplomacy.
Find out what NBA superstar just broke a scoring record and is getting a day named after him in Northeast Ohio.
Ohio is going to the Super Bowl? Not quite, but stick around to hear how the state will be represented nonetheless.
And now, your TV2 Sports Report.
To break the record, I was able to get to a really good spot on the floor where I'm very comfortable with and get to one of my patented fadeaway shots.
Ohio native and NBA All-Star LeBron James just broke the all-time scoring record, passing Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. While this NBA MVP held this record for 39 years, James passed him in the third quarter against Oklahoma City.
While he got honored at the game, he is also being honored right here in Ohio. The mayor of Akron, Daniel Horrigan, just declared that today is LeBron James Day. So congrats and happy LeBron James Day to all Ohioans.
And sticking with Ohio natives, a small piece of Ohio is heading to the Super Bowl. Youngstown native Darian Kinnard is in his rookie season for the Kansas City Chiefs. Kinnard played in one regular game for the Chiefs this season. He played college football at the University of Kentucky when the Chiefs selected him with the 145th pick in the 5th round of the 2022 NFL Draft. So if you're looking to see Kinnard in action, you can watch the Super Bowl this Sunday at 6:30.
It's crazy. Northeast Ohio athletes are really making our headlines tonight.
I know. I just wasn't expecting that. So, right? I mean, I heard that right here at Kent State. Our basketball team is also doing pretty well.
Yeah, let's send it over to Della Fowler to see what she has for us on Kent State's basketball. Della?
Welcome back to TV2 News. I'm Della Fowler, and welcome to sports. We're going to swoosh straight into Kent State basketball, where a new record has been set. That's right, with their 87-64 win over Bowling Green last night, the Kent State men's basketball team extended their win streak to 19 straight wins at home sweet home. This run has set a new MAC-era record, as well as keeping that gap close from UCLA, who has the most at-home wins in the country with 21. In a bounce-back game following that oh-so-heartbreaking performance in Akron, Malik Jacobs put up 17 points last night, proving that there really is no place like home. Now, if you watched the Akron game like me, you probably know this, but the Flashes really struggled in putting up points when Sincere Carey gets blocked. So it's very hopeful for the Flashes when we see players like Chris Payton or Clearon Hornbeek put up 14 points like they did last night. They will hit the road now, going to Buffalo to face the Bulls Friday at 6. And from the court to the tumbling floor, the Kent State gymnastics team is getting a little bit of national recognition as they sit 19th in the country for team scores on the floor exercise event. This comes as the Flashes put up their highest mark of the season on any event with a team score of 49.425 on the floor. The Flashes will use this momentum to propel them in their meet this week as they travel to face off against Bowling Green this weekend. And to the rink we go now after a quiet first period. We're going to go straight to hockey now. There we go, quiet first period. Nathan McKinnon skates around the net, and he's going to find that opening. Slow-mo replay gets it done again, right over Casey DeSmith's head, and the Avs will strike first. And you know, goals like this are why we love hockey. Zucker coming in hot, he's going to slide it around the crease to Malkin, and Brian Rust, he's going to be the one that'll tap it in. What a team effort by this line, tying the game. Huge goal for the Pens, sending it to overtime, that is. And Sid the Kid, he's going to come around the back of the net. Delayed penalty for the Avs, but it won't matter. Chris Letang on the feed from Crosby. Game winner! Franzos just slips up that hand-eye coordination, and it's a huge win for Pittsburgh. And your word of the day, Portage County, is Yenzer, a person from Pittsburgh. And those people right now are very, very, very happy. It's a 2-1 Pens victory. And that's it for tonight. Have a good night and a happy rest of your Wednesday. For TV2 Sports, I'm Della Fowler. Back to you, Chris and Kelsey.
Thanks, Della. After the break, how one teenager made history with nothing but his dreams and hard work.
Welcome back. A teenager from New Mexico makes history by becoming the youngest African-American pilot in state history. 17-year-old Gabriel Carruthers had an interest in aviation since he was young and made that dream a reality. At 14, he designed and built his first flight simulator, and 10 days after his 17th birthday, he completed his private pilot check ride. Now Gabriel plans to participate in air shows, then head to the Air Force Academy.
And Microsoft is bringing artificial intelligence to its search engine, Bing. The company says they plan to invest billions into OpenAI, which is a program made by an artificial intelligence company. They say the update will provide answers to questions, lists of search results, and even generated content to respond to queries. The update, Bing, could be made available for the public to try as early as Tuesday.
And today is National Boy Scouts Day. In 1910, Chicago News publisher William D. Boyce filed incorporation papers for the Boy Scouts of America. The history behind this is that the year before, when Boyce got lost in London on a foggy day, a member of the British Boy Scouts came to help him. This inspired him to create the Boy Scouts of America that everyone knows today.
To be completely honest, I wasn't a Boy Scout, and I don't think I ever consciously used the search engine Bing.
Well, first off, I've never used Bing, but my brothers were Boy Scouts. They were actually Eagle Scouts, and then of course Joshua Bailey, our news director, is also a Boy Scout. But really quick, what's your favorite? Oh wait, I was a Girl Scout.
No, he said he's an Eagle Scout.
Oh, whatever, Eagle Scout. Here's the thing, I was a Girl Scout. I didn't like it though, so I stopped being a Girl Scout.
My brother was a Boy Scout. But I guess my mom was just like, no, that was too much. Going to all those things after and all that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? I mean, so I just never thought about after I did Girl Scouts, I just kind of stopped. I was like, I just.
Did you sell Girl Scout cookies?
I did.
Tag-alongs are the best. And that's all the time we have for you today. Thank you for joining us.
For updates on all these stories and more, visit our website at KentWired.com and on social media at KentWired on all platforms. I'm Kelsey Drennen.
And I'm Chris Abreu. Have a great night, Portage County.
This is Portage County's TV2, broadcasting from the campus of Kent State University, streaming online at KentWired.com.